Rebuilding after a setback. Lessons in resilience. Have you ever felt like life just hit you with a wrecking ball? One minute, everything's fine, and the next, you're standing in the rubble of what used to be your plans, your dreams, or maybe even your sense of self. Sounds dramatic, right? But here's the thing. Setbacks happen to everyone. The real question is, how do you rise from the ashes when life pulls the rug out from under you? Let me tell you a story. Not about a celebrity or someone in a motivational book, but about an ordinary person, maybe someone just like you, who faced an extraordinary challenge. Imagine this. After working at a job for years, pouring heart and soul into it, this person suddenly hears those dreaded words. "We have to let you go." No warning, no backup plan, just an empty desk and a head full of, "What now?" Or maybe it was a crushing breakup. The kind that feels like someone ripped your heart out and gave it to a toddler to juggle. Or worse, a health scare that shook the foundation of everything they thought they could count on. Sound familiar? Because here's the truth. Setbacks are universal. They're not if moments, they're when. And what happens next is what defines your story. But let's not stop at the pity party. Let's fast forward to the moment everything started to change. Not because of some magical miracle or a self-help book that promised to fix it all, but because of small, deliberate actions. This person began with gratitude. Not the "let's pretend everything's okay" kind, but a raw, gritty kind of gratitude. They'd wake up and say, "Okay, I've got breath in my lungs. That's one thing. I can make coffee. That's two." It felt awkward at first, but over time, it rewired their focus. Then came therapy. Not just sitting in a chair and spilling their guts, but real, transformative therapy where they learned to rewrite the story in their head. No longer was it, "I'm a failure." It became, "I'm a person who failed once, and that's part of being human." Next, journaling, a quiet, underrated superpower. They'd pour their thoughts onto paper like emptying a cluttered closet. What started as messy, rambling pages slowly turned into clarity. Patterns emerged, priorities shifted, and with each word they found a little more of themselves. So what are the key takeaways here? How can you rebuild after a setback? Let's break it down into something you can actually use. Embrace the pause. Setbacks often force us to stop, even when we're running at full speed. Instead of fighting the pause, lean into it. This is your time to reflect, reassess, and figure out what truly matters. It's like hitting the reset button on a game. You can start fresh, but now you've got more experience. Reframe the narrative. Your setback isn't the end of your story, it's a plot twist. Remember, no one watches a movie where everything goes perfectly. Resilience starts when you take control of the narrative. Ask yourself, what's the lesson here? What's the next chapter? Start small, dream big. Forget about overnight transformations. That's movie magic, not real life. Start with one small action every day. Gratitude lists, a 10-minute walk, drinking more water. Each tiny win is a building block for the bigger picture. Surround yourself with the right people. You don't have to rebuild alone. Find your tribe, the people who lift you up, hold you accountable, and remind you of your worth when you forget. And yes, sometimes that means leaving behind the ones who drain you. Celebrate progress, not perfection. Here's the deal. You're not going to get it right all the time. Resilience isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. Celebrate the small wins, every single one of them. Made it through a tough day? That's a win. Spoke kindly to yourself after a mistake? Another win. Here's where things get interesting. What if we looked at setbacks not as failures, but as a kind of cosmic redirection? Like, what if that job loss wasn't about rejection, but about pushing you towards something better? What if that breakup was the universe's way of saying, "Wrong person, keep looking"? It sounds cheesy, sure, but think about it. Every major setback in history has eventually led to growth, innovation, or something unexpected. Would you be the person you are today without your past struggles? Probably not. And isn't that, in a way, their gift? Remember this. Rebuilding isn't linear. There will be days you feel like you're back to square one, and that's okay. Resilience isn't about never falling. It's about learning to rise again and again if you have to. So what's your next step? Pick one thing, one small action, and start. The rest will follow. And hey, when you look back on this moment someday, you'll realize it wasn't a setback at all. It was the start of your comeback story. If this resonated with you, share your story in the comments. What's the biggest setback you've faced, and how are you rebuilding? Let's create a space where we lift each other up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next time on The Balanced Path for more stories, tools, and inspiration to help you keep moving forward.